Hey, what's up? This is Kristof from Budapest, Hungary, and today I'm gonna give you 5 tips to make your loop songs sound way better. Let's go. Before we start, I wanna let you know that I put this knowledge out for free, so all I wanna ask you is just give me a subscribe, a like, and a comment. Let me know what should I cover next, and just share this with others so we can improve faster. Also, don't forget, if you want to dive deeper into any of these topics, I'm available for one-on-one lessons. Just hit me up on Instagram and we can talk about the details. And now let's dive into the good stuff. Tip number 1. Make your drums punchy, clean, powerful, and groovy. This might sound pretty obvious, but I want to change your perspective about the whole thing. In my opinion, good drums, whether it's done with sampling pad or beatboxing or any other method, body percussion or whatever, should be groovy and should be powerful enough that if you take away all the harmonies and basses, it stands by itself almost like a song. A good percussion and groove part should be already make the listener groove, already make the listener head bob, or to make the listener enjoy themselves, because that's gonna be the backbone for the whole song. And if that doesn't work, or that's out of time, or that's just messy, you're f***ed. Basically, if you're using samples, be sure that those samples, what you put into your MPC or whatever, are clean, compressed, and doesn't have any background noise. And just, if you're beatboxing, be sure that your basic drum kit in your mouth is clean enough. And what I mean by clean, that you don't have any excess noise of saliva or whatever. If you're making a sound with too much power and too much pressure, it's not gonna sound as rich and as beautiful as if you make it soft. But if you make it too soft, it's not gonna be punchy enough, so you have to find the right balance. Also, if you're a beatboxer or any kind of vocal performer using a microphone, you have to be aware that if you're performing your loops live, I mean with an audience and everything, you're gonna have your audience noises and background noises looped. In order to minimize that, try to experiment with noise gates. If you don't know how to set up a noise gate, basically just go up on YouTube and find any tutorial, or just come on a one-on-one session with me. But yeah, it's really important to minimize the background noise because that's gonna fuck up your loops. Tip number 2. Alright, this will sound also obvious, but stay with me, it's important. Intonation. If you're using your voice or an instrument that can be out of tune, be sure that you're in pitch. Your intonation is good. If you're looping a guitar that is out of tune and just messing with chords, that's gonna be there for the whole song and it's gonna be so annoying after like 10 seconds. If you're looping vocal harmonies and melodies, it's gonna be horrible. Horrible. That's one of the biggest things. If you cannot sing, first learn to sing, at least a little, and then add your harmonies with your voice. Obviously, if your song and your musical ideas requiring chords and singing, there are some ways to fake it till you make it. This is what I'm doing right now. Actually, I'm working on my singing, but I know that is not that good yet. So I don't want to mess up my whole loops with out of tune and out of key harmonies and melodies. So when I have my synth, I use the vocoder and vocal tune. There are some devices with auto-tune built in, or you can use any kind of pitch correction effects, or you can use your RC505 only using the robot voice, the vocoder effect, or you can use the pending delay, roll, granular delay effect set to a certain pitch to make harmonies and melodies. But believe me, it's way better to use helping effects than make your loops out of key, because that's gonna be annoying for the whole song and you don't want that. So please go online and try to learn to sing. This is what I'm doing right now. Also, I really want to add more vocals and more singing to my loops, but not as long as it's like Let's go ahead to tip number 3. Don't waste time. So this is one of the biggest mistakes even advanced loopers doing. Alright, to understand this, we have to take a step back first. You have to understand that live looping is never gonna be as versatile and complex as a written song produced by a computer or produced by a live band. Why? Because usually, especially if you're using your voice only, you can do one thing at once. Of course, we beatboxers do know that this is not true. But in live looping, you don't want to do that because you want to manipulate the melody, the hi-hats, the snare and kick, and every element basically differently. So this means that you should approach live looping in a minimalist way. I think being minimalistic is one of the key elements to be a good looper, but if you don't understand this concept, please let me know in the comments and I may make a separate video or just explain it in the comments or in wherever. So when you're building your loop, you don't want your audience to be bored for a second. In order to do that, you have to jump from building blocks to building blocks. You want your looping to be fluid. Drums one more time. In the meanwhile, you're looking for your effects. Harmony one more time while you're looking for your effects. Then bass line, and not like drums. Now I start to look for the effects. Drums. Oh, harmony. Yeah, that's cool. Harmony. Okay, I'm bored. And now a lot of time passed with unnecessary breaks. I swear you, this is gonna be a game changer. Practice this, try to minimize your time, because then you will realize that making a 3 minutes loop is hard. And 3 minutes is a lot. You can put there a lot. Okay? Tip number 4. Make music, not noise. Complexity is not equal with randomness. Complexity is not equal with bullshit. Complexity is coming from being structured, so the mind can feel that, okay, there's something going on, I can understand. But at the same time, the mind says that, okay, this is tricky, like playing polyrhythms, like adding complex harmonies or whatever. But you have to use those advanced tools in a simple way to make it still understandable, relatable, and basically music. Because music has to be understood. Music is just like a language. So I'm gonna give you an example. Don't forget, this is all related to music. Let's say I want to ask for a spoon. If I'm a baby and I cannot structure my language in a proper way, I would just say, spoon, spoon, spoon. And my father will understand that, please give me the spoon. But let's say I'm like a young guy, 15-year-old, I would just say, give me the spoon. Okay, that's a sentence and it has the meaning. And my father probably will say that you have to use proper language, which is, would you please give me the spoon? That is a complex sentence. That is a complex sentence, but it makes sense. So if I'm saying that give iron thing me, that's just nonsense. Even if you can get your message through by adding your magic word spoon in there, this sentence will make no sense and people will look at you like, okay, I get that you want that spoon, but why are you being so weird? You know, that's the same with music. If you're making your drop, just make a normal sentence out of it. Then people will understand it. But then you can differ if you want to say just spoon, give me a spoon, or give me the spoon, or please give me the spoon, or would you please give me the spoon. It's really, really important that you have some kind of structure. If you know the band Animals as Leaders or Jojo Mayer and Nerve, you know that there are some crazy, mind-blowing harmonic and rhythmic ideas going on, but you can still enjoy it because you can pretty much tell that there's a structure behind it. You might not know what the structure is, but you know there's a structure. So if you want to go for complexity, still put a structure in there. And tip number 5, listen. No, that's the tip. I mean, listen. Listen to a lot of music, listen to other loopers. But what I mean by listening is not just putting it in and listening to it. I mean with your whole knowledge and brain, intentionally try to listen. Try to understand. Do not focus on one thing. There are so many more aspects than just effects and gear. And this is for the beatbox community about this whole second device thing. Second device won't make you sound good unless you're good here and here. A second device won't do the work instead of you. It's gonna enhance your abilities, but at the end it's gonna come down how creative you are, how well you understand music, and how well you can produce sounds, how well you can make people groove and feel something. So that's why I'm saying listen. listen to a lot of music, not just Loopstation artists, because that's going to give you a big range of ideas and inspiration. But again, listen, not just with your ears, not just with your nerd head, because we all have that nerd side which says, oh my god, which mic he using, what is that second device, like what is track effects? I know it's interesting, but that is just one side of the music, and you have to know that you don't have to ask. If you listen, you don't have to ask those questions. If you listen and learn a lot about music and sound design and music theory, you don't have to ask. So basically what I'm trying to say, that listening to music and music itself should be in the core of whatever you do with your Loopstation. I hope you get this, because this is really, really important. It's so important that I might gonna dedicate a whole video to it, because listening is in life and in music and in general is one of the biggest, most amazing skill that you can acquire. And through listening, you can truly understand music. You can truly understand your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your parents, or whatever. But you have to be able to throw everything away that you think you know and let the music or the person speak for itself. You want to understand what they are saying and not what they're saying meaning to you, because then you're going to miss out on the opportunity to understand the thing itself. I really hope it makes sense, because this is really, really important. So this was my 5 tips to make your live looping way better. I hope it helped, because I know that you might not expected these kind of obvious points. But what I found, that these are the building blocks of a good live looping song, and most people and most loop songs are lacking it. Although you might know about them, but you're not doing them. So you have to go ahead and change some habits. You have to change some way of thinking, because I promise you, as soon as you go and lay on these 5 foundational things, 5 foundational tips, your live looping is going to change, and the way people can see your live looping is going to change. And one extra tip: when you're listening to your own loops, listen as if you're somebody who knows nothing. I mean nothing about music. Like somebody who's only listening to like radio and TV and knows nothing about music. Because if you can enjoy your stuff with that ear, then it means that it's working. If not, and when you're listening, your first idea is, oh my god, this bass sound is so heavy, and yeah, somebody who's not into bass music, they are just getting the feeling of the song, and they are just getting the whole basic idea and not the details that you're picking up on. And you might think that you discovered a sound that nobody ever did before, but that person won't care, because he or she doesn't know that sound is unique. He or she will know if that sound is cool or if that melody is cool. So this is really important. And again, please don't forget that I put this knowledge out for free. So please, please, please share it with others. I want more people to know about this stuff. I want more people to evolve. And, let me know in the comments what you think. Give me a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. And yeah, subscribes would make me feel good. Subscribe would be like the best reward ever. If you subscribe and make people subscribe, that would be amazing. Alright, bye!